after having her student visa revoked. 21-year-old Yu Yang from China is suing the Department of Homeland Security over losing her F1 student visa. Her visa was revoked over a speeding ticket in which she pled no contest. Yang is suing because she was not given the right to due process. Her hearing is set for May 14th, 4 days after she was supposed to graduate. The government lawyer on Friday says ICE is reversing the termination of legal status for international students around the U.S. The FBI arrests a Milwaukee County Circuit judge over allegedly helping an undocumented immigrant, quote, evade arrest. Judge Hannah Dugan appeared before a federal judge this Friday morning on 2 felony counts of obstruction. FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed on X that she'd, quote, misdirected federal agents away from Eduardo Flores Ruiz when they tried to arrest him on April 18th. Ruiz is a Mexican citizen and was arrested a short time later. Her next court appearance is May 15th. Milwaukee's water quality meets federal and state requirements according to a new report from Milwaukee Water Works. Meanwhile, Milwaukee's water infrastructure receives a D grade. The Wisconsin Waterworks Excellence Project notes that there were over 21 water main and service breaks per 100 miles in 2024, costing nearly 370,000 gallons in lost water. The city says the water supply is compliant with the Environmental Protection Agency's lead and copper rule. 2 test sites in the Uptown and River West neighborhood showed levels above the EPA action limit. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. It's Pop-Off Friday. If you have anything that's bothering you, anything that's driving you up a wall. I was going to say crazy, but, we have all these words you can't say anymore because they're so sensitive, and you'll get canceled if you say crazy anymore. So I think it's just crazy that they say you can't say crazy because then you'll get in trouble. So just so you know where I'm coming from. You know why? Because it's Pop-Off Friday. So if you have a problem with it, you should get over it. Because I have a problem today that I want to pop off about today. First thing is, today is the 25th.
Yes, today is the 25th.
Okay. So that's one. But let me show you let me show you. Here are the 5 things while you drive that absolutely, totally, beyond a shadow of a doubt, drive me absolutely, I can't say the word in the way that I want to say it, but crazy. And I heard you're not supposed to say crazy, but I'm saying crazy. Why? Because it's Pop-Off Friday. This is the Friday, April 25th edition, 2025 of Pop-Off Friday. 5 things drivers do that just drive me to scream. Like literally makes me go, no, I'm not going to say it publicly because then I'll be in trouble. 5 things that just irk me. Number 1, when you pass on the right at a red light or a stop sign and there's no space on the right. So you have to literally cut me off in order to get into the lane to go first. I've seen people do that to the point where they cut me off and then make a left turn or a right turn at the next corner. You literally couldn't wait 20 seconds? Like it drove you mad? Or is it that you just had to be first? But I think it's that adrenaline rush you get, right? Those endorphins that are released when you jump in front of somebody or try to time it in the left turn lane when you veer right in the intersection so you can go straight. Somebody's going to get killed. And it's going to be difficult to feel sorry for them. And I'm going to be talking about that story with the judge in Milwaukee County. And I've got a few different takes and a few different things to look at regarding that story. Number 4, you drive in the bicycle lane to pass people, whether it's on the left or the right. So what's going to happen is somebody's going to be in the bicycle lane and you're not going to look and you're going to speed up. You're going to hit somebody and you're going to kill them. It's a bicycle lane. What are we doing? But the problem is we don't have enough police officers to enforce the law when they see people driving in the bike lane, driving in the bus lane. Now, you got to drive in the bus or bike lane when you want to make a right turn. And it says here, drive, you can drive here, or only if you're making a left turn, buses can go straight. There's a sign that says it. Why y'all interrupting my show? Why y'all? It's Pop-Off Friday, so you get to go off. No, but seriously. So you drive in a bike lane, and it's a car. Like it doesn't make any sense. Why is your car in the bike lane? You're not turning. It's not the end of it. And then those idiotic things the city put in at the corners, those little rubber things with the white. People just drive over them. Like once they figured out it's not like permanent, they drive over them. Those things disappeared like the same day they put them in. I think people tried to say, hey, how many of these can I run over at one time? And they just went down Capitol and went down Center Street, North Avenue, and just tore them all up. It was embarrassing. They need to put a median in, and that'll stop all that. But I digress. Opening a car door on the street side while pulling a baby out of the car. That's my number 3. So if you want to have a baby and you want to take this baby out of your car, crawl over to the passenger side and get your baby out. First of all, if you're in the driver's seat, the baby should be in the back seat to the right so you can see the baby through the rear view. For those of y'all that don't have children and don't have nieces and nephews you drive around because y'all lazy and y'all don't like them. And so it just makes no sense. So I saw a guy today open up an SUV car door. And it wasn't like it's on North Avenue in Wauwatosa where you have the parking, and then you have the green bicycle lane, and then you have the regular traffic. Well, your door fits in the bicycle lane. God forbid somebody on a bike comes by and gets knocked into traffic and then hit by a car, but that's another thing. So at least you get to open it up and stand there. This guy opens it up, stands there. His car is already parked in the bike lane, so he's standing in the street, unbuckling. The car door's blocking traffic. He's unbuckling the kid and pulls the kid out. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you literally know that when I come hit you, I'm going to pass you. I'm going to hit the door. The door's going to come off, whack you in the face, whack the kid in the back of the head, and push you out into traffic. And a bus will probably be coming. and you'll be flatter than day old beer. And then what are we supposed to do? Oh my God, you killed a baby. Oh my God, you killed. How about dad was stupid? How about mom was stupid? Makes absolutely no sense. But that's what people do. Pulling kids out on the traffic side instead of the curb side out of their car. Now, number two, this one, and let me say, all these things happen today. But then our director of content, Sean, brought up something that when it rains, people just drive stupid, which I disagree with because people are just driving stupid when it's dry or when it's snow. Welcome to the Midwest. So, number two, turning on your blinker after you stop at a red light or a stop sign after the light turns green. You do understand that you're supposed to signal, I think it's 200 or 100 feet. It's either 250 or 100, which would make it like a half a block before you get to the corner if you're going to turn. You have to signal before you get to the corner and stop. I've seen people sit at red lights. There's only one lane. There's no passing lane on the right. There's no bike lane to pull into, which they really shouldn't do. And what do? The light turns green, they turn on their left turn signal. Where'd you learn how to drive? Like in what universe did some idiot teach you how to drive by turning your blinker on after the light turns green? Or, and this is a Wisconsin thing, people stop, but they don't pull into the intersection when they're going to make a left turn. They wait right there, and then only when the traffic clears, they'll pull into the intersection and make a left turn. I'm like, that means only one car turns. And then the second car runs through the red light to make the left turn. Or you can pull in, like we learned in Illinois, you pull into the intersection about one car length out, because you want to give oncoming traffic space, room to make their left turn, and then you're done. Not here. They wait till. So today I'm waiting there, and the guy sits there, and he waits, and we're on Fond du Lac. Now, he's not even supposed to make a left turn, and he waited till the light turned green, and he started to make a left turn. I was just done. But my number one thing about drivers that absolutely drives me off, the reservation, is illegal parking in handicapped spaces. I saw 2-3 cars. I looked at the car and said, first of all, the front windshield is tinted. They don't have handicap plates. There's no way. And yes, I'm being judgmental and I'm profiling. There's no way a handicapped person parked in this space. Like none. Like, what are you doing? And I don't know what is the fine for a handicapped parking space now. Let me double check. City of Milwaukee handicapped space ticket. So, parking ticket for improperly using a handicapped parking space can result in a fine, but it doesn't tell me how much. Let's see. So let me go back and see what number that was, because I want to make sure it looks like it's 620. Because I want to make sure prohibited parking. Okay, that can't be it. So where's the handicap parking? I guess they don't care about handicap parking. It's not in here. Parking. Now I'm going to have to search for it during the break because this is just unconscionable. Parked within 4 feet of a driveway and entrance. Like, how do you even know that? 10 feet of a hydrant. How do you even know? In excess of 15 minutes. So, yeah, parked in a handicap area, $300. It is code 759. parked in a handicap area is $300. It is the most expensive, from the looks of it, parking ticket you can get in the city of Milwaukee. So here's what I would suggest. Number one, and my number two is C number one. Deputize me to write handicap parking space tickets in Milwaukee. I will gladly write more than enough tickets for you to pay me a salary in a year. What are you popping off about? 833-212-1017 is the number. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. What is this?
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
This may be another Elon Musk bureaucratic shuffle, or this may be whatever it is. These, Dr. Ken, are real consequences.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I believe that there's going to be a step back and a rollback to some of those places that we're talking about making cuts because of the drastic outcome that can occur.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 1017 The Truth.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Gear up for a great time as Sports Milwaukee hosts Milwaukee Tailgate Week, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Set for April 24th to the 26th, Milwaukee Tailgate Week features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, brews, restaurants, and venues. As the 2025 draft takes center stage in Green Bay, Sports Milwaukee and the Cream City are excited to welcome the football world to Wisconsin. For tickets, go to visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate. Brought to you by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
Use promo code VISIT for 50% off.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. What is your pop off today? What you mad about? What are you upset about? What's like driving you? What is all this? Anyway, what's driving you up a wall? What's making you go, wait, what? Mouth the elephant. Good afternoon, Dr. Ken. I hope your Friday's going well. No, it's not. All these parking people decide they want to do ridiculous things and park in all kind of ways, and it makes absolutely no sense. But then they park there, and then you got to go, wait, what? What are you doing? So if you got something to pop off about, 833-212-1017 is the number. So I want to dive into this immigration thing. I want to dive into the judge that was arrested. And people said things for, people say things against, and all that. Right. So the other day, there was a story about a Milwaukee judge is accused of helping a man evade ICE. What do legal experts have to say? Well, I have a problem right away. This article on JS Online written by Ava Nguyen. But I automatically have a problem with some of the comments that are made. Legal experts say the charges against a Milwaukee judge accused of helping an undocumented alien avoid arrest are a concerning escalation of the federal government's attempt to compel local officials to assist in immigration enforcement. Well, it's not. It's not. The charges stem from an incident on the 18th of April when agents from U.S. Immigration and Customs, and I'm going to read you the complaint. I'm going to read you the actual complaint that they filed that they found probable cause to arrest her. Sources told Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that Dugan directed ICE agents to Chief Judge Ashley's office. During that time, sources said Dugan allowed the defendant to leave the courtroom through a side door down a private hallway. The attorney, former federal prosecutor Raymond Dalosto, said, and I want to know under whose regime did this person work under, or did they have a long career? I'm just asking. Should never have been arrested or charged in the first place. How could you possibly say that when you haven't seen the complaint? I don't know. So Dalosto says he's taken clients down side doors in the past, and that should not have been seen as nefarious. It's seen as nefarious when the person is wanted by ICE and there's a warrant. And we'll talk about that later. Several legal experts said Dugan's actions appeared to be reasonable efforts to protect the integrity of the courtroom. Huh? Others say there may have been a better way to handle the situation. And I believe that. And the first thing they'll say is, you're not a legal expert. Well, clearly the judge isn't either. None of the 5 experts interviewed by the Journal-Sentinel before Dugan's arrest thought she should be charged with a federal crime, which means absolutely nothing. Which means absolutely nothing. Because there are things that they're avoiding, things that they're pretending don't happen. They're pretending like this, like these judges are allowing their liberal upbringing and their liberal views to cloud what the rule of law is. And don't get it twisted. Republicans do the same thing. They do the same thing. They said Dugan's actions are problematic, but not necessarily criminal. You say the same crap if it's the Trump administration or a Trump official, and now you want to make it criminal. This is the problem I have with the criminal justice system. Democrats and Republicans politicize crime and use it when they want to use it and don't use it when they don't want to use it. The problem is that's the system that we have. When prosecutors decide to prosecute somebody, they can, and when they decide they're not going to, they don't. And whether you agree with what she did or agree with what she said, it's irrelevant. How any of these people who used to be prosecutors feel about anything is completely irrelevant, just like me. It has nothing to do with the facts of the case. And when those facts are presented in court, we're going to find out exactly what transpired. But yet, people forget that people don't get arrested just on a whim. People don't get, oh, yes, they do. Black people, sometimes, yes, you're absolutely right. Sometimes black people have been arrested and they should not have been arrested. Sometimes people get arrested and they shouldn't. And those are usually the times when you what? Those are times when you've never read the complaint. So for those of you who didn't read the complaint, I'm going to skim, and enough time in the day to read it all, I'm going to skim the complaint. United States of America versus Hannah C. Dugan, or Duggan, depending on how you. United States District Court for the Eastern District of Wisconsin, case number 25-M-397 SCD. And they filed a complaint on the 18th saying that the person violated obstructing or impeding a proceeding before a department or agency of the United States and concealing an individual to prevent his discovery and arrest. So there are multiple people who saw it. Special agent of the FBI, who's also a certified accountant, working white-collar crimes. I based this affidavit on personal knowledge and upon information reported to me about other law enforcement officers doing, during, and as part of their official duties, all of whom I believe to be truthful and reliable. In this affidavit, case agents refers to me and other FBI special agents who directly have participated with me in this investigation. I also base this affidavit upon information provided by citizen witnesses and other information as described below. So what they did is they went to a judge and they got the warrant for her arrest. Probable cause. I am aware from a public review of public records that this guy, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, born in 1994, was charged in Milwaukee County Circuit Court with 3 counts of battery, domestic abuse, infliction of physical pain or injury. And so to make this much shorter than it was, they went through that. They confirmed he was there through biometric fingerprint comparison of what they had on file and what the county had on file, and found out that he was there. So, on April 17th, 2025, an authorized immigration official found probable cause to believe Flores Ruiz was removable from the United States, issued a warrant for his arrest. The warrant provided, you are commanded, this is to the person, to arrest and take into custody for removal proceedings under the Immigration and Nationality Act. The above mentioned alien Flores Ruiz, identified on the warrant. Upon his arrest, he will be given notice of intent, decision to reinstate prior order. He would then have an opportunity to contest the determination by making written or oral statement to an immigration officer. So it goes through, they go in the court. Basically, Dugan finds out that they're outside. What she doesn't know is that there's a plainclothes sitting away from all the other officers, observing, watching the whole thing, but wasn't identified as an officer. And so they have a back and forth, and do you have a warrant? Well, if you have a warrant, I think you need to talk to the Chief Justice, Judge Ashley, but Judge Ashley wasn't there. They got to talk on the phone. In the meantime, she walks them down the hall. Now, I'm not doing this in perfect order. If you want to read it, you should go to documentcloud.org and read the article, or just go to the website that's listed in the story from JS Online. So basically, they go back and forth. There are 2 prior people. They were arrested, and they're trying to say they can't be arrested in the courthouse. And the federal officer reminds them, this is a public building. You can be arrested in the building. It's a public building. Can't be arrested in court. That's your domain. Public building, mine. So now then Judge Ashley starts to, well, we want to come up with a policy for taking people into custody. Well, it's hard for a judge, because eventually it would probably get overturned, to stop somebody in a public building from coming into a public building, especially law enforcement. It's a public building. Like, how do you do that? Nope, you can't come in a public building because you're law enforcement. That's like saying you can't walk on the street. That building's paid for with taxpayer dollars. If you want to come on, so. And a judge could stop you, but then eventually it'll go through the courts and go to appellate court and all that stuff. So they have an arrest team that's in place. DEA agent, 2 of them. Deportation officer, Customs and Border Patrol special agents, 2 of them. So it looks like there are about 5 or 6 people there. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office supervisor, the sergeant, says that Dugan did it. Another citizen, the DA, the clerk. So they've got all this information in this complaint that says that when the courtroom deputy reported that the clerk then got up and talked to Judge Dugan became visibly angry, commented that the situation was absurd, left the bench, entered the chambers. At the time, Flores Ruiz was seated in the gallery, where they said she would never let anybody sit in the gallery because that's where jurors are, and she would always chastise people or tell people they can't sit there. So it goes on and on and on, and there are multiple different people that read this, that say this. And so she then comes out and talks to them. Now, this is after. Members of the arrest team report that following events after Judge Dugan learned of their presence and left the bench, Judge Dugan and Judge A, who are both wearing judicial robes, approached members of the arrest team in the hallway. Judge A's courtroom is located adjacent to Judge Dugan's court. Witnesses uniformly reported that Judge Dugan was visibly upset and had a confrontational, angry demeanor. Judge Dugan addressed Deportation Officer A and asked if Deportation Officer A was present for a court appearance. He said no. Dugan stated that the Deportation Officer A would need to leave the courthouse, which is something she can't do. She does not have the power to do that. Deportation Officer A stated that Deportation Officer A was there to effectuate an arrest. Judge Dugan asked if the Deportation Officer A had a judicial warrant. Deportation Officer A said, no, I have an administrative warrant. Judge Dugan stated that Deportation Officer A needed a judicial warrant, which is garbage. Because, anyway, Deportation Officer A told Judge Dugan that Deportation Officer A was in a public space and had a valid immigration warrant. She asked to see the warrant. They showed her the warrant. She demanded that they speak with the chief judge, and that's when they had back and forth, and they went to the judge and all that and went into the office. So it goes on to report that multiple people reported that the judge escorted the arrest team members away from 615, and in the meantime, DEA Agent B, who was not recognized by Judge Dugan and Judge A as part of the arrest team, remained outside Court 615. According to the courtroom deputy, after Judge Dugan was advised of ICE's presence, the deputy left the courtroom to look for an unrelated defendant. The court deputy saw Judge in a robe in a public hallway telling the agents that he needed to go talk to the chief judge. She still appeared visibly angry and walked away quickly. As soon as the agent entered the chief's vestibule, the courtroom deputy saw Judge Dugan walk down the hallway, enter a locked door near courtroom 615. I'm familiar with the floor plan and believes Judge Dugan entry led to a non-public hallway from which she could access her courtroom and chambers. And so basically, that other agent sat outside the door in the hallway, who they didn't know was part of the arrest team, and reported that Judge Dugan walked around the hallway and appeared to be looking for additional agents before she returned to her courthouse. And basically, they asked to make a copy of the warrant. So it sounds like they're doing all these little things to slow them up so they can get this guy out of there. And what happens is, well, it sounded like she tried to push the case through so that instead of waiting and they could wait for him, she would do the case really fast and get him out while they were talking to the Chief Justice. Judge Dugan escorts Flores Ruiz through a jury door to avoid his arrest. Multiple witnesses have described their observations after Judge Dugan returned to her courtroom, directing members of the arrest team to the chief judge's office. And for example, the courtroom deputy recalled that upon the courtroom deputy's return to the courtroom, defense counsel was talking to the clerk and Flores Ruiz was sitting in the box. So they're confirming all the stuff that other people said. And the courtroom deputy saw Judge Dugan get up and say something like, "Wait, come with me." Despite having been advised of the administrative warrant for the arrest, Judge Dugan escorted Flores Ruiz and his counsel and another woman out of through the jury door, which led to a non-public part. And they call this unusual. And it's unusual because they said she never lets anybody sit in the gallery, and nobody ever goes back there unless they're escorted. And so basically what happens is they even have a victim witness specialist employed by the DA's office who was able to identify Flores Ruiz based upon the victim's reactions to his presence in court. So you got victims there, you got all this stuff there, and basically he gets away. He gets away. So then after they've, and this is the investigation that the FBI, and I know I'm behind, does. After leaving the chief judge's vestibule and returning to the public area, DEA agent A reported that Flores and his attorney were in the public hallway. So nobody turned this person in. The judge, who should have done her case, obstructed based on this complaint. I don't know what she did. I'm not going to get, that's a court case. DEA agent B also observed Flores Ruiz and his attorney in the hallway near courtroom 615, noted that he was looking around the hallway. From different vantage points, both agents observed him and his counsel walk briskly toward the elevator bank at the south end. So basically, he gets outside. At about 8:50, they alert other members of the arrest team that he was on the elevator with Flores Ruiz. They spoke Spanish to each other. He didn't understand it. They exited, and having received above information, DEA agent A, other members scrambled to locate him and arrest him. So basically, they found him outside, and he ran. He ran. So think about this. Guys here, average Joe, versus beefed up, DEA, Marshal Service, and FBI. How far you think he got? About a block. So they catch him. They lock him up. Meanwhile, the guy that's sitting in the hall observes the entire thing. Then when they talk to the people inside, the deputy, the prosecutor, defense attorney, they all say the same thing. Based on the above information, I have probable cause to believe that Judge Dugan violated Title 18 U.S. Code Section 1505 and Title 18 United States Code Section 1071. And they arrested her. When we come back, people are screaming that she should not have been arrested, that somehow democracy is going to fall in. But I have a question for you. Any comments? 833-212-1017 is the number. Your chance to pop off. And now with 1017 traffic. Slow down, Debbie. Here's Debbie Lazaga.
Northbound on 41, delays from Watertown Plank Road all the way up to about Hampton. We've got northbound 43 with an accident at Locust that's basically backed up all the way back through the Marquette up past Locust. The two right lanes are blocked, by the way, because of this accident. And then we've got delays from about National Avenue down and around the Hale interchange all the way to Forest Home. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, decreasing clouds, breezy with a low of 39. Tomorrow, a few clouds, then mostly sunny, a high of 50 at the lake, 57 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe loyalty is never a one-way street, so we love finding new ways to say thank you to our customers. This is why we're hosting Us Days again. It's our exclusive in-store event to celebrate you, our loyal customers, with unique offers for everyone. Visit our stores during Us Days until April 23rd to take advantage of offers up to $1,200 off of any smartphone and up to $500 off of any tablet. This is the perfect time to upgrade. Come into any U.S. Cellular store for more details. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So, Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do. But I don't want that to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
More than 6 million kids in the U.S. have ADHD, and many aren't getting the support they need. At understood.org, we can help. Sometimes in class, the only thing your child can focus on are the thoughts racing through their head.
Why am I always falling behind? Why do I feel so alone? So different.
Your child is looking to you for answers. But as a parent, you probably have a lot of questions too. What should I do next? Where do I even start? At understood.org, we provide parents with the resources they need to help kids with ADHD thrive. Your child wants to thrive. Be the reason they do. Visit understood.org/the reason to get started.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The NFL Draft Round 1 kicked off last night in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Packers, for the first time since 2002, selecting a wide receiver in the first round. Matthew Golden out of Texas. He talked about his mentality he's bringing to the pack.
Being reliable, man. In critical situations, I always showed up. When our back was against the wall, they could count on me to come out with a big play, and that's something I kept doing continuously. And, coming here, that's definitely the same mindset I'm bringing, to make big plays and come out here and win games.
Round 2 of the NFL Draft will start tonight at 6 p.m. Over to baseball, where the Milwaukee Brewers will kick off a 3-game set in St. Louis tonight. First pitch tonight is scheduled for 7:15. And over to the NBA, where the Milwaukee Bucks will come back home and play Game 3 against the Indiana Pacers at Fiserv Forum. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. There are times in everybody's life when life tosses a curveball and you have to readjust, realign, rededicate your resources to making things better. And sometimes you know what to do, but many times it's the first time you've ever faced an issue, especially when it's, you're a new college grad and it's financial, or you just got a home, or just had kids. And for the last couple of decades, I've been able to, experience those things, but also turn to Educators Credit Union. I had a financial issue that involved another family member, and I was able to go in and get advice and a plan. And I'm here to tell you today that it worked. At Educators, our members are our purpose. As a credit union, we are concerned not about profits, not about the bottom line of shareholders. Our greatest reward is you achieving your financial dreams through lower rates and access to free financial resources. Experience more heart and less hassle. by making the switch today. Achieve more at ECU. I'll get it right. It's Friday. ECU.com. That's Educators Credit Union, insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility is required. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm so far behind, I don't know what to do. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. So the judge is supposed to follow, before the break, we were talking about Judge Duggan. I apologize if I'm saying her name incorrectly. The fact that they arrested her, it's so heavy-handed. No, heavy-handed is obstructing getting someone in custody when you were given either an administrative or a judicial judge order that you have to follow. It's not like discretionary. If a police officer got given that and he enforced federal law, you have to give it. A judge or an administrative official of a court gave you that, of a court or an agency, gave you that warrant. It was a warrant. Anytime you're given a warrant for arrest, you must arrest. There's no extenuating circumstances or I let you slide or go to court. You go to jail. And she did not do that. She's a judge who swore to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin, and the ordinances of the county of Milwaukee. And she failed. They believe they had probable cause that she committed a crime. And when she did it, he evaded arrest and he ran. How did he even get out of the courtroom? Was the case ever heard? And he should have left court by the doors that he came in with his attorney, and he didn't. So now what does that say? Somewhere in there, you facilitated the escape of a person who had a warrant. Any police officer would get arrested. Any lawyer would get arrested. Any court commissioner would get arrested. Any judge would get arrested. And she got arrested. Now, that means that she's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. She will have her day. As I last heard, she was not released. She was still in custody in Milwaukee in federal detention.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, the time is almost here. Be sure to tap into the Tory Lowe Show Friday, May 2nd, as I'll be giving away $5,000 to one of our lucky Truth fans who were entered in to win the Gruber Law Office's $5,000 giveaway. Again, that's Friday, May 2nd, when we'll be giving away $5,000 to one of our lucky Truth fans between 1 and 4 right here on the Tory Lowe Show. Remember, you have to be tapped into the show in order to be our next Gruber Law Office $5,000 winner right here on 1017 The Truth.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing Coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing Coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axhousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe Coaches are here to help.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's lots of buzz surrounding the draft. We got day 2 today, but you won't find drafts seeping through windows that Pella's going to put in your house. In fact, you should make Pella your number 1 pick, because right now you can take advantage of no interest financing options or free glass upgrades. Their talented designers and installers can match your unique home through seamless customization. Certain restrictions apply, and the deal ends April 30th. Today, the 25th. You got 5 days, so place your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. Also want to remind you, at Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community of Milwaukee for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh. And their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. They offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, postcards, you name it. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing. So perfect for family reunions, perfect for sporting outings, perfect for business promotions, and much, much more. For your next project, visit them at greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions, we are here when you need us. 833-212-1017 is the number. It's Friday, Pop-Off Friday, and I'm just mad. I'm mad about everything. I was upset. Way people drive, it's raining outside. It's supposed to be warm. Tomorrow it's supposed to be like 50 or 60 degrees and no rain. So we'll see. We'll see how it rolls out. We will see how everything goes. But I was just kind of, complaining about that. And if God told you himself, said, we have a lot of issues because of racism, people putting themselves on the back burner because of a lot of sacrifices because of skin color, but we have to become informed. People arrested in the courthouse with a warrant, that don't get much more due process than that. That's what I thought. If you got a warrant, it doesn't matter. And see, here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's administrative or judicial. It's a warrant issued. And they're not giving people English quizzes, too. Are you just going to hop out on somebody like a certain frisk? No, that's not how that works, and you need to understand that. Does anyone even know where the judge is now? Is she here? Is she out on bail? Is she out of state? What? Anyway, she got arrested, and from what I heard, and if they update the story, we'll see. Let me click. Let me check and see if she's still in custody. Well, sounds like she got processed. There was a brief hearing. I don't know if she got released or not. I know she was being held. Usually they don't hold you for this, like detention, like there'd be no need for her to get held. People are outside protesting, and I don't know how much of a protest is. Nobody really heard about it, but anyway. I'm just hitting the talking text line. Let me know how heartbreaking it is to have turned away from one and only black talk radio shows we have in the city because of people's egos and bad attitudes. I don't know what that's coming from, but okay. She definitely, Smith Black said, or Blacksmith, you did too much. We only have one black-owned radio station in Milwaukee, The Truth. Why are y'all tripping about that? So why do people trip about black-owned versus not black-owned? I don't understand where that comes from. So the only way that I'm supposed to make money or work somewhere or do something is if it's black-owned? Like if that were the case, a lot of black people wouldn't have jobs. They wouldn't pay bills. And then you'd be complaining that nobody would hire us. So then we get hired, and then people complain that your employer isn't black. Well, then start a business and hire black people. But if we're actually going to be inclusive, we got to include everybody. So I don't understand the vitriol against people who employ other people when you don't. And that's the problem I have as I see with my race. We think everything we do has to be black, no matter what. And if you do something that's not black, oh, you've sold out. But then many times you don't want to talk about that on the air because you're, quote unquote, airing dirty laundry. Well, sometimes you got to straighten up and do stuff right because it's the right thing to do. But for some reason, we complain about stuff that makes no sense. And if it weren't for the company, this radio station wouldn't be here. I personally think you get a better quality radio, but it's different. It's just different. That's all. Black is black. But I guess now you got to be black owned, right? Kind of sounds like reverse slavery to me.
What's poppin', Truth Nation? It's your girl, Noni Juice. Tune into The Truth this Saturday at 11 a.m. for another episode of More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin. If you didn't know, last week was Black Maternal Health Week, so I will be joined by Sarah Noble, Chandra Lewis, and Tamara Thompson, and we will discuss healing legacies and why Black maternal health is an important issue for all of us to be aware of. Again, that is More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin, this Saturday at 11 a.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Coming with straight truth.
The same people that's against Carmelo Anthony for what his situation looked like have been for white people that have taken stances for situations like this. I guess it's color don't match. A lot of people point that out, the hypocrisy. But if this person was white, hey, we have plenty of examples of it. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
All of your favorite 1017 The Truth content whenever you want. The Truth app has it all. The Truth is on 1017 and 1510 WGKB Waukesha, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. A second international student from UW-Madison has been granted a temporary stay after having her student visa revoked. 21-year-old Yu Yang from China is suing the Department of Homeland Security over losing her F1 student visa. Her visa was revoked over a speeding ticket in which she pled no contest. Yang is suing because she was not given the right to due process. Her hearing is set for May 14th, 4 days after she was supposed to graduate. The government lawyer on Friday says ICE is reversing the termination of legal status for international students around the U.S. The FBI arrests a Milwaukee County Circuit judge over allegedly helping an undocumented immigrant, quote, evade arrest. Judge Hannah Dugan appeared before a federal judge this Friday morning on 2 felony counts of obstruction. FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed on X that she, quote, misdirected federal agents away from Eduardo Flores Ruiz when they tried to arrest him on April 18th. Ruiz is a Mexican citizen and was arrested a short time later. Her next court appearance is May 15th. Milwaukee's water quality meets federal and state requirements according to a new report from Milwaukee Water Works. Meanwhile, Milwaukee's water infrastructure receives a D grade. The Wisconsin Waterworks Excellence Project notes that there were over 21 water main and service breaks per 100 miles in 2024, costing nearly 370,000 gallons in lost water. The city says the water supply is compliant with the Environmental Protection Agency's lead and copper rule. 2 test sites in the Uptown and River West neighborhood showed levels above the EPA action limit. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and the Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. JD the poet I read earlier said it's not that the station isn't black-owned, it's because it's white and Jewish people own a disproportionate amount of businesses. So because somebody owns something, because they do something and it's black, then you think they shouldn't own. Like, I don't understand that. They say we own 2% of the market. More comedy. Dwayne's Dr. Ken, where is the Terrence Howard meme? You ain't slick. Black workers are not the only ones who have issues with employers. Of course not. I don't understand your point, though. And so I asked JD the poet, why does that matter So when we're blocked from owning more than 13%, because so whenever we compare, we're only 2%. Like, what does that mean? We should own more? If we decide to own more, sure. But are you saying it's disproportionate to what white people own? Because if it's 64% white people and it's only 13% of us, should we be stopped at 13% and go, okay, you're proportionate, go away? Then what? Like, where's that end? Like, do we just limit? Right? Somebody said we only got 29 gas stations in the whole United States. Well, then go into the gas business. We've been here longer than Indians from India, the Italians, and most Jews. Why can't we control at least one industry? Because you decide to spend your money all over. I was reading a story today about the velocity of money. The velocity of money is you pay somebody, they then pay more people, they pay more people, it stays in your community. Our money stays in our community 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Most communities stays in 20 days, 20 months, 20 minutes. Now, granted, our community is fragmented. Our community is not as together because of some things that happened during redlining and Jim Crow and just straight up racism, and they busted up all the things that we had that were great. Okay, so let's bring those things back. But the problem is everybody wants to live the American dream. Yeah, I'm popping off about it. Everybody wants to live the American dream. So which one do? Do you complain about Bob Johnson for selling the MCA for Black Enterprise and become a billionaire? Or are you happy that he owns it till he runs it into the ground and doesn't leave his family or legacy for anybody? You can't have it both ways. You can't be great and then kiss everybody's ring. You can't. 833-212-1017 is the number. Winky Blue, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I still got my top 5 at 5 to do. What's up?
Hey, good afternoon to you, brother. Listen, you started talking about that judge downtown.
Right.
I think whatever she gets, she deserves it. We have to realize something. When did we, especially in our community, start trying to uphold the rule of gang law? Now there is a fragment in our community that might uphold that, but when have we started upholding gang bangers, man? Some of these tattoos that these people are wearing from these different countries, they actually mean something. They're actually achievements that goes along with the organization that they're affiliated with. When have we started protecting them? And then when it comes protecting gangbangers. And then here's something else. You talked about black-owned. Well, Dr. Ken, I understand that. But we have a president right now that's trying to get rid of people out of this country. Maybe the door would swing back open where you could come back into your mom and pop stores and make them available for purchasers, people that got a little money.
Yeah, but the majority of those stores are owned by non-Hispanic people, so I don't think that's the case.
But that's okay. A lot of those are not illegal. A lot of those are not legal immigrants, brother. Them people done came in here on visas, staying whoop-de-doo long, having a great time, living the American dream that you talked about. And by the way, the American dream was always to own a patch of land and a slave. The black man's American dream, his dream,
are you going to
was to own a patch.
Are you going to continue to live in 1865, or are we going to move to 2025? Like at some
I'm
point,
in 2025. I'm trying to get.
We understand that it happened, but let's teach our children, make sure it never happens again, and then let's try to build a legacy.
Well, I'm waiting on the legacy to be built when they're not even willing to get together and put the people out that's holding their butts back, that's taking that money out of their community, that won't let it circulate for them 20 days that you're talking about. They've overpopulated these communities, especially ours, because we the number one consumer,
Time out. Who overpopulated the community?
The people that are operating these stores.
Okay. What do you mean overpopulated?
That's a lot of our money can't circulate, man. And I'm not worried about buying black and doing this black because guess what, brother? You know, people say these things like the man just commented about the radio station. You made a great point. If it wasn't that radio, I mean, if brother, you made a great point. People talking about this black stuff, where would you go work at? You know, they talk about racism. They talk so bad. If Walmart really pack up and go, guess what? Look how many people we're going to have out of a job. I'm not worried about tariffs, Dr. Ken, because every time an Arab or an Indian or a person that is not of us go to Sam's Club, come back to our community, jack the price up 3 times its cost, that's a tariff. Ain't nobody arguing about it. So black folk need to be quiet about the tariffs and let white folk fight it out.
Hang on, because the other part is the same people that have to go to that store don't have the ability to get out of that community and go shopping in the places like Target, like Walmart, that are not in the community. It's very rare you get somebody like a Target or Walmart or anybody to come remotely close to the inner city. So that's one thing. The other thing is, if I can't get there and there's no bus transportation, I don't have a car, and I don't have a job. I mean, look at what happened to black people during COVID. We have service jobs, and they cherry-picked what jobs were essential and sent all the poor people to work while the middle class and upper middle class people stayed at home. Like, that is the kind of issues that we're working with. So when you talk about stores,
I know I didn't have that much time, and I mean we could have a real dialogue because that Denise show, you and Denise show, y'all don't take no calls, do y'all?
No, we don't.
Okay, because y'all had some good topics one night, and I said, man, I'd like to get in for about 30 seconds.
Well, we're gonna be on again. We're gonna be on again Sunday night on 620 and Monday night right here on 101.7 The Truth from 6 to 8.
Yeah, well, you guys have some pretty good topics. I'll tune in.
Okay.
All right, my main man, I'm out.
Yeah. All right, appreciate it. 833-212-1017 is the number. Am I going to get to like top 5, or is these calls going to be? All right, so that was call number 5, so I'll make this call number 4. Al, we're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Yes, good evening. I want to say with all due respect to the lower caller,
mm-hmm.
Do they know that some of the people who used to own the corner stores and some of the gas stations was black?
Yep. Yes, they were.
And then I also understand, too, that sometimes when we talk about the things we can do within our neighborhood,
mm-hmm.
it was always excuses why we can't. But I guess building economy was liquor stores and churches, which have never served our community. And I understand
okay,
people
I got to argue with you on
that
when churches have served our community, so you got to back up.
Well, I mean, how about this? When you look at other neighborhoods, you don't have 4 or 5 churches on one block. Or if you go to other neighborhoods, you will see 1 Autos, but you don't see like 6 liquor stores in a 2-block radius, is what I'm saying. So there are certain things that's in our neighborhood that can kind of hold it back. But what I'm saying is there's certain things that people used to own.
But wait a minute. But wait a minute, Al. Come on now. You're kind of bashing the neighborhood. When in fact,
I'm not bashing the neighborhood.
If you flip that, there are no school shootings in black schools on the north side of Milwaukee in the inner, quote unquote, inner city. They all happen in white suburban. Well, no. Call a spade a spade. You can't just heap all that on the black community and not say anything about the white community. Come on.
No, what I'm saying is in order for these black neighborhoods, you have to respect them. And I know the lower caller always like to make excuses like, oh, so what? You can buy another one. Well, you know what? If we're speeding 50 miles an hour, so what? Well, why do you got to speed 50 miles at all? Why our neighborhoods can't be a neighborhood versus saying, well, they're black, so what? I'm going to do this. All I'm saying is the same essence and pride as you as the lower caller use to uphold other cultures and the racism, use the same for your own. That's all I'm trying to say. We can have those corner stores back, but we have to respect them. Or when something is wrong, we have to speak up.
Then that means that when it's wrong and they come arrest somebody that's black, you need to go to court You need to testify to make your community safe. You can't complain that you don't want the police. Not you, Al. I'm in agreement. You can't complain that you don't want the police in your community, and you don't want your kids to get arrested, and you don't want your family members to get arrested, but you want it safe. Can't have it both ways.
I understand, but all I'm saying is, if we want these things in our neighborhood, we got to take the initiative versus saying, well, just don't stand with the white folks. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you much.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
833-212-1017. Was that caller number 4? He was caller number 3. All right, let me make caller don't go nowhere. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. You're number 2. There you go.
Oh, okay. Hi, Dr. Ken.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. What's your comment?
My comment? Oh, today is pop-off, right? I just got to get kind of organized. I got to get organized for pop-off. Okay, now, basically, now they were talking about, what was that, Ricky Blue. He called, I think he said something about the immigrants or something, about the lady that the judge, and that he hopes she go to jail or something.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm just saying, well, number one, like you always say, she got to go to trial and get her due date, at trial. And then I be saying so much stuff escaped us, especially on the other side. I mean, a lot of them, these are January 6th people getting hardened. I mean, I think we were worried about the wrong things. That's where I look at it, because so much go through the whole system, and then it's a takedown. It's a big takedown of the United States that's going on. And so you got to look at what's all being destroyed and how people won't have jobs, how crime is going to amp up. It's going to amp up the crime, because if you don't have a job, it's crime. Y'all look at the neighborhood. Like I tell you, you know exactly where I am. I'm right center in it. Central City. And then the houses, like a car hit a house last year, and the house caught on fire. You think the city come in and tore it down? No. And see, where I am, it's really pretty empty. You got a lot of spaces. That's why I said they should tear it down.
So last
so
question.
I don't have a neighborhood.
So last question. How do you feel about the judge being arrested?
I don't feel nothing. She shouldn't even be arrested, because we have somebody that's a president.
We're not talking about the president. We're talking about the judge. We're not talking. Okay.
No, I'm just telling you, Dr. King.
Okay, I'm doing Sandra like I do everybody else. Put her on hold. Let her calm down. I'm going to go to the next caller. The caller. You're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Good job.
What's up?
Well, what's up is I'm spending my money at black businesses as you guys talk about this.
Okay.
I just filled up my tank up here on 9th and Atkinson. So get like the caller, Winky, and anybody else who's talking about what black people should do when unemployment is rising for all races. I'm on my way to Daddy's Soul Food. Have you been there, Doc?
Yep.
Have you had the desserts?
I don't eat desserts, remember? Sugar.
Oh, yeah, I forgot, man. Well, whenever you decide to have a cheat day, man, they have the best sweet potato pie.
I'm not going to have a cheat day.
They do it never?
No.
So you've sworn off sugar forever?
Sworn off sugar. I avoid it like the plague.
Okay. Well, more for me, brother. You know, I do it in moderation.
Diabetes is in your future because you black. Stop it. Stop it.
Well, no.
Yes.
I have a really high metabolism, and
that ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
As I said, I do it sparingly, and
so what are your numbers?
I like is things that.
What are your numbers? What are your numbers?
I'm not going to discuss that on the air, but I'm doing
saying.
fine.
Do you? Okay.
I'm in.
I want to see your numbers. I'm challenging you to come down here and let me see your number. We will trade. I will let you see my. Listen, I'm gonna let you see my numbers, and I want to see your numbers to see if you're really telling the truth.
What you talking about, like blood pressure and all those?
All that.
A1C,
everything, and I'll show you
all of those things.
because in the coming months, Because in the coming months, I have a healthcare thing coming up on Truth Summit in October where we're going to talk about just that, the black community and
I would
health.
never divulge that personal information.
Well, guess what?
To a media.
Guess what?
I
wouldn't talk about it. I'm not talking about it on the man. Get out of here. I'm not talking about talking about.
Oh, you talking about the private?
Talking about you and me.
Now I am going to this event pretty soon coming up. We Black We Golf and learn skins, and so then I'll talk to you about my golf situation a little bit more.
When is the event?
It's on the 30th. It's on the 30th.
The 30th? Where at?
Lincoln Park.
Okay. What time?
I'll get the time for you because I set it to one of my alarms, so I don't have it handy right now. But what I do want to say is most black people do want policing, especially in a city like Milwaukee.
Of course.
I always say people who didn't come here before the 80s didn't get a chance to see the beauty that Al was just talking about.
Yep.
Winky knows better because he's been here his whole life.
Yep.
And Winky actually had excellent history teachers and English teachers because he went to historic Milwaukee, Washington.
Yep.
So why he spews some of the nonsense he's willing to spew is beyond me.
Well,
but
don't call what he says.
And I support
don't
his
call
right
it. No,
to
don't call
free
what
speech.
You don't get to call what he says nonsense. You can just say you disagree.
But if I put in my opinion, is that okay for the format?
No, it's not. You're not gonna call somebody else nonsense and all that stuff. Only I get to do that.
I know. I was gonna say only the host, but I'm gonna go after that.
Everybody, okay.
And I'm gonna watch the Bucks win at another wonderful black establishment called the Q. It's on Lisbon, and I may have.
Is that the one south of North Avenue or North? Is that the one south of North Avenue?
It's actually on Lisbon, about 87.
87.
It's
that's the one up there. Okay, I got you.
This brother owns 2 restaurants from the way that I think. I think he owns Champion Chicken, which is attached.
Okay.
And he has a nice sit-down establishment. He's gonna have a little live music tonight.
How you gonna have live music and a Bucks game?
I was gonna say right after the Bucks game is normally during the time when the Bucks will be playing.
Okay.
But we'll probably start it at 9 tonight. So, real nice place for grown folks. And so that's what the Cardinal like to do is to just spread positivity and be an example of what Milwaukee once was and can be.
How about spread the truth? And sometime it ain't positive.
And
how's that?
And well, I got so much positive truth that I don't have time to get to the negative.
That's on you.
And that's why my blood pressure is the same as it was when I was 25.
I doubt that seriously.
I'll give you that number.
I doubt that.
Well, I'll show you that number.
I want
112 over 62, sir.
It don't stay consistent. Oh my gosh. All right, I'll talk to you, brother.
I'm telling you.
Have a good weekend.
I take it off it. God bless. Y'all have a good weekend, man.
All right, you too. 833-212-1017 is the number. This is my number one. Brian, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
How you doing, Dr. K? Love your show. I got some predictions. Can I say them on here?
Well, depends on what kind of predictions are they for?
Sports.
Okay, you can do 3. How many you got?
Just 2.
Okay, go right ahead.
Shedeur Sanders will be drafted.
Glenn, put your finger on the dump button just in case. It's Brian. Okay. All right, go ahead, Brian.
Shedeur Sanders, Deion's son, Shedeur Sanders will be drafted just like Brock Purdy. He'll be the last pick in the NFL draft.
Do you think he can play? Do you think he can actually play?
Be quiet.
No, I'm going to tell you. I was a quarterback, Dr. Ken.
Yeah, I don't think he can play.
He's got a problem.
Yeah.
He can play to a certain degree. However, he's got his mama's body below the waist. That's
his
his
daddy's
problem.
brain. That's low. You should not say something like that about a person. Apologize.
I hate to say it, but I had to say it. He's too slow. He is too slow.
And he's too quick to take a sack. He's too quick to take a sack. Yeah.
That's the mental. That's the mental part from
All
his
right.
mama.
What's the second one?
The lower part is the other one is the Bucks won't win another championship until they loosen the reins of the Deer District. You remember when we won the championship?
Right.
Everybody was free flowing. Everybody was out there.
Right.
The minute they started doing all that restriction and telling people they have to do this, that, and the other, and they had the crazy shooting, so they thought they had to come in with all the big security.
Right.
They ain't gonna win nothing else.
Because now people feel like they can't come to the Deer District because.
Exactly. I predicted it back then they weren't going to win again. And the Bucks will probably lose tonight as well. But, yeah, we won't win another championship till they get back to that old mentality.
All right.
And Giannis will probably be too old by then. Oh, I want to give you a tip, too. As far as your sugar levels, you can eat certain sugary things, but if you use Ceylon cinnamon, it'll keep your blood sugar levels normal.
How
no
about I not bother with doing that and just don't eat sugar? Like, I'm not understanding. Everybody comes up with, first of all, I appreciate that, Brian, but everybody comes up with these ways that you can do this and that, or you could cheat. How about you just not do it and not damage your body and your kidneys and your liver?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm just saying.
If you can stand it, yeah. If you can get away with,
falling off the wagon every now and then is one thing, but constantly drinking soda with artificial sweetener, sugary things like bread, white bread, and wheat, it all turns to sugar. Rice turns to sugar.
Exactly.
All that,
But I use Ceylon.
It's crazy. Well, I ain't going through that. That's just another thing I gotta eat in order to eat. No.
I know. All right, brother.
All right. 833-212-1017 is the number. If I'm going to complain about anything, it's going to be about that doggone not eating sugar. I think I'm doing okay. So I'm going to hit the talking text line. The talking text line has completely and totally blown up, and I've been remiss, and I have not read anything about that. So I'm going to go back until right after. Well, I'm not going to wait. I'll do it now.
One call, that's all.
One call, that's all is right. Truth Nation, now is your chance to be our one call, that's all Gruber 5K giveaway entry for the day. Yes, you can be entered in to win $5,000 courtesy of Gruber Law Offices. Be caller number 5. Right now at 833-212-1017, you'll be entered in to win the $5,000 giveaway that will make you an entry with all the other people right here with the award-winning 1017 The Truth of Gruber Law Offices. Again, that's caller number 5 at 833-212-1017. Remember, if you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, call Gruber Law Offices today. Visit them at gruber-law.com. That's gruber-law.com. For official contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com. That's 833-212-1017 is the number. Caller number 5.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Start jamming in the morning and get your daily drop of juice.
Juice gets you hydrated and started for your day. And that's what we plan to do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every single morning, we're going to be keeping you in the mix, talking about everything you care about all before 9 a.m.
So wipe that crust out your eyes and get ready for jamming with juice.
Turning your mornings into your favorite part of the day.
Get that stank breath out of here. Brush your teeth.
It's it, bro. What? Catch Jammin' with Juice
from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Milwaukee.
This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So, Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do, but I don't want that to to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Gear up for a great time as Sports Milwaukee hosts Milwaukee Tailgate Week, presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Set for April 24th to the 26th, Milwaukee Tailgate Week features a variety of gridiron activations for all ages, steeped in Milwaukee's iconic sports history, brews, restaurants, and venues. As the 2025 draft takes center stage in Green Bay, Sports Milwaukee and the Cream City are excited to welcome the football world to Wisconsin. For tickets, go to visitmilwaukee.org/tailgate. Brought to you by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
Use promo code VISIT for 50% off.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The I-94 rivalry is more than just bragging rights. Get to the ballpark for Brewers-Cubs action May 2nd through the 4th and spend Friday and Saturday night under the lights and help the Crew defend American Family Field and the National League Central Crown.
That's your ball game!
Then pack the park for Sunday matinee baseball at the May 4th series finale and take advantage of the Sunday Fun Day bundle. Get your tickets now at Brewers.com.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Okay, I got to go back on the talking text line and catch up from 4 o'clock because I didn't look. I was reading the YouTube. But you can stream and watch us on YouTube and at 1017 The Truth. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a minute of a live show. Or just download the app and just listen. All right? All right. Mari said, Dr. Ken, when people know darn well that the forward traffic won't move quickly enough, because I was talking about traffic, before the light turns red and pull into the intersection anyway behind other cars holding up traffic in the other direction. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And that happens a lot on Fond du Lac, like at 51st, where you got the 6-way, and it happens again on, it used to happen at 27th Fond du Lac and North Avenue. But they kind of put those blocks in so you can't turn around. Like it's just the 2 lanes with the median, not even the median, the yellow line in the middle, east and west. And so you can't really go around anymore. So, yeah, that is true. So you wait, the light turns red, then you pull into the intersection. The traffic in front of you is already backed up, and now you're blocking traffic in the intersection so the other traffic going in the opposite direction. Not opposite, but adjacent to you. No, not adjacent. Parallel. No. What's the word I'm looking for? Is it adjacent?
Perpendicular?
Perpendicular to you. I had every other geometric. That was the last one left. Perpendicular to you, right? Coming at an angle this way, 90 degree. The cross street, you're blocking them. And then they get backed up, and then the light turns green, and then they get backed up, and it just... Yeah. Mari also said, Dr. Ken, I've heard people argue that immigrants, legal or not, shouldn't be provided with any monetary aid because the same aid isn't afforded to the Black community. I happen to agree with that. You should not come here and get access to Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, or anything if you haven't paid into the system. Now, if you're here illegally and you paid into the system, that's your problem because you should not have been here illegally to begin with. So whatever you contributed to a country that you came to illegally doesn't help you. That's just me. There's resulting anger and resentment in the immigrant community. What is your perspective? Well, that's my perspective. Is it likely that aid would instead be directed to the black community? No. It'll be directed to the people they want it directed to. But if you earned it, then you should get it. Likewise with Ukraine. Would the aid we're sending them be appropriated in a way that benefits the general population in the U.S., trying to understand different perspectives, not criticizing them? Well, those are two different things. Those are apples and bricks, right? It's not apples and oranges. They're not both fruits. The bottom line, when you lose democracy in other parts of the world, you cause other countries to build a coalition, which is what Russia's trying to do. For those of you that are under 50 years old, I want you to go back into Wikipedia, because that's probably the easiest way, or an encyclopedia, and look up the USSR. Not Russia, but the Soviet Union, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. Or is it the Union of Soviet, not Socialist, Soviet, anyway. The Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, the USSR. Back when there was the Cold War and Russia was a behemoth. That is when you'll start to learn all the things that Russia did, Crimea, Poland, all those countries that are now independent that never want to go back, which is why Russia keeps saying, well, you can't put them in NATO, because if you put them in NATO, we're going to start a war, because they know part of their future is to take those countries back and become bigger than the United States, partner with Russia, and run us off the map. So part of that argument is making sure democracies stay in the Middle East, that Israel stays there, that the United Kingdom stays there, Ireland, all that, the Netherlands, right? Greenland, Iceland. Those are strategic because you do understand that missiles aren't going to come across the Atlantic or across the Pacific. They're going to come from the north because that's the shortest distance around. That if planes come to bomb the U.S. from the Soviet Union or China, they're going to come over the North Pole. So whoever controls the North Pole and controls Iceland and Greenland, or at least has bases there, is a stopgap. Because when planes even fly to Europe, they don't fly straight across the Atlantic. They go through, Canada, Nova Scotia, trail around Greenland, Iceland, and then hit the Netherlands and come south. That's why they refuel in the Netherlands and then go on into London and Europe. So we got to be careful to keep those countries our allies. Once we lose those, that's why we have military bases in Germany and, some in the Netherlands and England. And there's a reason we're partners. Once that breaks down, we're done. They'll squeeze us. We're already getting squoze from the south. Mexico's a step away from becoming communist. Cuba already is communist. They're just going to spread throughout the Caribbean. And that's why the United Kingdom, Great Britain, the Crown, keeps those Bahamas and all those other places that are quote unquote independent. But they keep their hand on them because if they lose them, they'll all become communist. And now we'll have to watch the South. And the only ones that are left is Canada. Someone has to go protect Hawaii. Japan, they don't have big enough. And the biggest country is China. They got the most people. And they're losing because their childbirths are pretty low too. So it'll be interesting in the future how that goes. But we still have to look at that. When we come back, YouTube chat, everything going on. 833-212-1017 is the number. And now with traffic on 1017 The Truth, here's Debbie Lazica.
Delays northbound on 43, going to be slow from before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keith. There's still this accident on the ramp from 4394 northbound straight through the Marquette off on the right shoulder. On southbound 43, backing up just a little bit right past Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette. Northbound 41, a heavy ride as you're making your way up from Watertown Plank Road all the way to Silver Spring. Eastbound 94, lots of company. We got delays basically from the Zoo interchange all the way to 27th Street. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, decreasing clouds, breezy, a low of 39. Tomorrow, a few clouds, then mostly sunny, a high of 50 at the lakefront, 57 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks. And enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Are you looking for an opportunity to better the Milwaukee community? Do you want to develop your skills for a career or job? City Year Milwaukee is recruiting for its 16th cohort of AmeriCorps members. We are hiring young adults ages 18 to 25 to serve our amazing scholars in Milwaukee Public Schools. This opportunity allows you to serve your community and gain professional development, which will allow you to enter the workforce, your next educational journey, or even stay with us for a second year of service. Visit cityyear.org to connect with our local recruiters and learn how to apply by Friday, May 2nd.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Carrie Noni with her truth.
You know, sometimes the mundane isn't a burden, it's the beauty of living. I came to this conclusion after recently watching the movie Subservience on Netflix. It's a crazy film, y'all. I would suggest you check it out. But it's a story that explores our relationship with technology and how it's programmed to take our burdens away. This movie really got me thinking about how much we're wired to avoid struggle. We create tools and shortcuts to make life easier, whether it's robots, apps, or even outsourcing everyday tasks. But in the process, we risk forgetting the value of the little things we go through every day. Sure, folding laundry or grocery shopping might feel like chores. I literally dread cleaning up. But isn't there something grounding about them? Something that reminds us we're human. Life isn't just about the highlights or the easy parts. It's about the messy, repetitive, and sometimes inconvenient stuff too. Think about it. Who would you be if you didn't have to face the small frustrations that test your patience, or the routines that push you to show up for yourself or the people around you? The mundane moments, the ones we rush to escape, are often the ones that shape us. If life was nothing but convenience, where's the growth? Where's the grit that teaches us resilience? And most importantly, where's the appreciation for the moments that do take our breath away? So maybe the next time you find yourself annoyed by the daily grind and are on the brink of crashing out, you pause, you breathe, and remind yourself that the beauty of life isn't just in the big moments, but in every little thing that makes them possible.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to Jammin' with Juice with Ben Jammin and Carrie Noni weekdays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The NFL Draft Round 1 kicked off last night in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Packers, for the first time since 2002, selecting a wide receiver in the first round. Matthew Golden out of Texas. He talked about his mentality he's bringing to the pack.
Being reliable, man. You know, in critical situations, I always showed up. You know, when our back was against the wall, they could count on me to come out with a big play, and that's something I kept doing continuously. And, you know, coming here, that's definitely the same mindset I'm bringing, you know, to make make big plays and come out here and win games.
Round 2 of the NFL Draft will start tonight at 6 p.m. Over to baseball, where the Milwaukee Brewers will kick off a 3-game set in St. Louis tonight. First pitch tonight is scheduled for 7:15. And over to the NBA, where the Milwaukee Bucks will come back home and play Game 3 against the Indiana Pacers at Fiserv Forum. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. JD the Poet said the Q used to be on MLK and moved to Lisbon. He also owns Ashley Barbecue. I don't know if any of this stuff is true. I'm just reading. Sir Chan said, hey, Doc. Yeah, Doc. Your doggone numbers look great. And you in shape nowadays because you wisely learned some restraint and discipline and gave up things by like stopping by McDonald's and grabbing them greasy blank fries. And so I told him last time I was at McDonald's was the last time I saw him at McDonald's, which was actually during COVID. Like that's the last time I went to McDonald's. JD the Poet said, rice ain't bad. It's the way it's processed. Most of the world lives on rice. It still turns to sugar. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with Okay. Come on, man. Dwayne said Brian must not realize that most teams in the NBA have never won a championship. The Lakers and the Celtics have nearly half of championships since the league started. Hey, Lana Banana. JD said there are 30 teams in the NBA. 10 have never won a championship. Out of the original 11 BBA teams, only 2 are in the same city with the same name. And somebody said it. Smith Black said it. Not to be confused with Blacksmith. Shador is just average. That Brian guy was spot on. And then, so JD the Poet said, Donald Trump's granddaddy came here illegally. Should Donald Trump go back to Germany? Donald Trump was born here. So he wants to have other people not use birthright that he actually or his parents used to be here. I don't know if his parents became citizens or were born here. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't really care. Atlanta Banana, you're right. But Dr. Ken, isn't that stretching too thin? I don't understand what that means. I want to hear what the question, Dr. Ken. I want to hear it. I'm just speeding through. Dr. Ken, these colonizing, this is from Mao before we go to break. Dr. Ken, these colonizing countries never thought that their colonies will eventually wake up one day and choose full independence. I think they did. I mean, it got too expensive for Great Britain. So they gave the Bahamas the option that they can be their own and they can have dual citizenship in Great Britain. So some of them are English citizens and some of them are Bahamian. But here's the thing about being an English citizen. You can go everywhere there's a British colony. You can go to England. You can go to Ireland. You can go to Scotland. You can go to Canada. You can go to anywhere in the British Isles, in the Caribbean, and you can go to Australia, and you don't need a passport. You can literally work your way around all the hemispheres and never need a passport. We, on the other hand, can only go to American territories. So, I mean, I guess it's okay, but, I mean, I would prefer to be able to travel the country and see things. I mean, this country is enough. Like, I want to wonder, has anybody in the chat been to all 50 states or how many states? I think the only states I've never been to. Let me think of the state I've never set foot in. Been to Idaho. Okay. North Dakota is the only state I've never been to. I even went to Delaware. Ooh. Ooh. That's the only place, North Dakota. I've been to Minnesota. I only been to Minnesota, but I've been to Minnesota and then crossed into Canada and then came back. So I've been there. I've been to Canada through Detroit. I've been through Canada through New York and to Canada through Maine. But I've never been to North Dakota. Been to South Dakota, but never North Dakota. And when I went to Superior, Wisconsin, it was so cold. I didn't know it was like cold up there. And then I looked on the map and went, wow. Yes, I even went to Wyoming. I went to Cheyenne, Wyoming. Yes, I did. Yep. Because when you drive across the country, you take I-80, you drive into Wyoming, and then you can go south into Colorado. Yep, I've been there too. Washington State, Wyoming, Idaho, been to Boise. Their football team is cold. Got to give them that, Boise State. They're pretty cold. So, I'm just saying. 833-212. Yes, I've been to Alaska, been to Fairbanks, Hawaii. But I want to go to Australia. I just don't know if I want to be on a plane that long. But I guess if I can go to England, I guess I can go to Australia too.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year, I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and H&R Benefits Consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
Keep your business safe, secure, and spotless with the Omega Security Guard and Cleaning Team. Proudly located in Milwaukee and female-owned, Omega delivers professional security and tailored cleaning services to meet your needs. Whether it's event security or a custom cleaning plan, their dedicated team goes above and beyond to exceed your expectations. Because at Omega, they're not just your service provider, they're your partner in peace of mind. Contact Omega Security Guard today or online at OmegaSecurityGuard.com. Omega Security Guard and Cleaning, protecting what matters most.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axhousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show is coming up. JD say, I've been through 20 states, but if I say I had a meal or spent the night, so only 14. Say Sean's sundown towns in Wyoming. They got sundown towns here in Wisconsin. What you talking about? Hey, love y'all. I wish I could read everybody. RC and Lana, JD, Sir Chance, RC, Mao. Who am I missing? I think I got everybody. Smith Black, Travis. So, hey, thank y'all for joining. God bless. Take care. Be safe. All right? Be safe.
Be quiet.
Really? I'm out.